For more on this story, we can bring in our European Affairs editor, Armen, Georgian. Armen, good to see you. Tell us more about Călin Georgescu and what he really stands for.
Well, on Ukraine, he says we should worry about the Romanian nation first and basically not get involved. It's none of our business, he said in an interview. So when he says things like that, Delano, he sounds a lot like the America First movement, actually. The difference, of course, is that while to US Republicans, Ukraine appears something very far away, or to some of them, that's not the case with the Romanians. They actually have a long border with Ukraine. They have tens of thousands of refugees. So it's perhaps more surprising in that sense that when Georgescu says we shouldn't get involved, this message clearly resonated with enough people to get him over the line into the second crowd. What may have helped him was also the recent authorization that the US, France, and Britain has given Ukraine to use long-range missiles into Russia, because, of course, there is concern within NATO countries, particularly in a so-called frontline NATO member like Romania, about what Russia is going to do as retaliation to that. So clearly that message that he had, as I said, had enough resonance to get him over the line. But of course, when it comes to sort of the long-term political plan, it's not as if he has nothing to say on that. He says we need peace, we need a peace strategy, and he's very much in line with what Viktor Orban in Hungary or Robert Fico in Slovakia have said on that question. This was not all about Ukraine, Delano. Georgescu also talked a lot about the humiliated, those who feel that they don't matter. So again, I mentioned America First, a very Trumpish narrative about helping the forgotten man or woman.
And can this result from the first round be viewed as yet another blow to pro-EU forces across Europe?
That's probably a bit oversimplifying, in the sense that the person who came second in this presidential election, the first round, Elena Lasconi from the centre-right, she believes in raising defence spending and helping Ukraine. So it wasn't a clear-cut vote on the Ukraine issue. It was actually quite split. And why is it significant that she talks about raising defence spending? It's because the role of the president in Ukraine actually has a semi-executive role, which gives that person a control over defence spending. So Romania's future direction within NATO and the EU could go in two different ways, really, depending on who wins the runoff of the presidential vote on December the 8th. There's another important factor I have to mention, Delano, which is what's going to happen in the parliamentary election, because that happens in Romania even before the second round of the presidential election. So there's a parliamentary election this Sunday, and if the first round of the presidential election is anything to go by, then we're looking at perhaps another anti-establishment, anti-incumbency vote. We'll have to see how that translates concretely into parliamentary election results. But if that sort of trend is confirmed from the presidential into the parliamentary election, then things could get very unpredictable from the EU's point of view.
Okay, we'll see how this story pans out. Thank you very much for that, Armen Georgian.
Thank you.